Well, you already know what it is. It's another episode of Eat Thought Conversations where we bring people who are educational, who are entertaining, who are engaging, people who are difference makers in this world. And oh, I got a difference maker here today. And it's none other than Miss Kellie Naper. It is Naper, right? You don't go Napper, you go Naper.
Napper is
Napper
actually
is
Napper.
Napper. Okay. And she's like a local legend here. She is an entrepreneur. She owns her own publicist service called the Connector with the K. Connector with the K. And it's a personal management service. She's also a model. And then she's a business owner. She is the owner of the MAS Early Childhood Educational Service. Miss Kellie Napper. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's so good to have you here.
Thank
Again, it's
you.
people that are educational, entertaining, that are engaged and making a difference in the world. You're making a difference in this world. First of all, you have two full-time hustles. You're a
Yes.
publicist, and then you're a business owner of an early childhood development service. How do you manage that?
It's called multitasking. Something I've been doing ever since I became a mom. So, it's just in us. The hustle is just in me in regards to, having more than one thing happening and going on. So don't ask me how I do it. I just get it done.
People want to know, how do you do it? What does a day look like for you? Because I'm sure the daycare runs regular business hours. And
Mhm.
then when do you find time to be a publicist and a model?
Well, so the daycare is 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday
Okay.
through Friday. And so I run that, and I actually run it. I am actually a teacher in the classroom. I do have staff that work for me, but I'm a part of it as well. I'm in the classroom. I'm teaching the children. I'm implementing lesson plans. I'm providing training to the parents and things like that, and all that good stuff. And then with my PR services, I do that in regards to the weekends, evenings, and throughout the day as well, because PR is ongoing, is nonstop. So, and I also have a rental property, so I'm a landlord as well.
Multiple streams of income. That's what I'm talking about. A successful, independent African American woman. We ain't gonna even go into the feminine energy and the masculine energy, all that kind of safe conversations about can you take down your masculine energy and being. We're not even going there today. But I just applaud you for being successful, and that's why you're here today because I've watched you and I've kind of watched you evolve on that journey. In your daycare, what makes your daycare different from any other? What do you feel is the Kellie touch?
What's unique about my child care center is, first of all, the experience, the background experience I have. I come from Head Start, and I have over 26 years of experience in Head Start. I have been with New St. Paul Head Start for 20 years. And when other opportunities for advancement came for me, I pursued them and went on to Starfish Family Services, where I was there for 5 years, and then I was at Focus Hope for like a year as well. So I was the education manager and disability specialist for all three programs, and then I was also the strategic partnership manager for Starfish Family Services. So I just think my experience alone makes my program unique. Also, I child care centers and schools, we don't take field trips as much. And so I provide field trips. I always said that I would run my home child care center like how I ran Head Start. Head Start is for low income families according to their income, and they don't have to pay for anything. And so every time we have a field trip, I pay for all the children to attend, and parents just have to pay for themselves. So God has blessed me thus far to attend. And field trips are not just to the park or something like that, something cheap. No, we've attended, the Universal Circus. We've been to Legoland. We also have been to the Sea Life Aquarium. We've been to the Science Center, the Detroit Science Center, and different things like that. And so I've also brought a field trip to us, Exotic Zoo, who I have had and maintained the relationship with them through my work with Head Start for years, and I brought them in for in-house field trips. So it's just providing those hands-on experiences for children and family. Also provided a wealth of resources for my families, because all the relationships that I had in Head Start, I maintained those relationships with my own home child care center, and I make sure that I provide those resources to my families as well.
Okay, you said so much in there. I got a couple things I got to pick up. Number one, she said she's been in the business 26 years. And people are like, how
Yes.
did that happen? Because you look 26. Number one. So you came out the womb doing child care. Um, um,
I was
you
19 years old. I was 19 years old when I started with Head Start.
y'all do the math. I'm just
Yes, I was 19. I was a baby, but I thank God that I have the drive in me. I never wanted to remain stagnant. When I started with Head Start, I came in with some education, some college education, and I was an assistant teacher. Well, I continued to work my way up and advance myself, and and went to school. They paid for schooling. So if you have a job out there that has tuition reimbursement, take advantage of all the perks that your job has, because it will pay off for you in the end.
That's excellent. You talked
Yeah.
about Head Start. Have you been weighing in on the possible budget cuts for Head Start and your sentiments about them?
Yes. So we had a scare when Trump first came in office. I didn't want to say his name, but when he first came in office, and uh, we thought Head Start was on that list, but I'm reading, it keeps coming back up. It keeps going back and forth that I'm hearing that Head Start was not supposed to be on that list. And if Head Start goes away, it's going to affect a lot of families, millions of families across the country. And so, a lot of families need this program, because Head Start don't only service the child, they service the entire family.
Mm,
We provide family resources as well, job opportunities. Parents begin volunteering in the classroom. It's so many parents that were volunteers who are now a part of the Head Start program, either assistant teachers, teachers, even moving up through the ranks, becoming directors of programs or whatever. In regards to the daily meals, and by the families being low income, some of the families, the children in the classroom, this may be the only opportunity that they do get a full course meal in the Head Start program. So it's just so many aspects of the program that if it goes away, it's not going to be a good look, and a lot of families are going to be suffering from it. And not only families, but staff as well. I was a staff person. I thank God I'm an entrepreneur now, but staff people who work for Head Start. Uh, Head Start is a lifelong educational institution, and it's just not something that has. Head Start just celebrated their 60th year anniversary.
wow.
That's how long Head Start has been around. So it will affect a lot of families and a lot of staff if Head Start goes away.
I think some of the sentiment from that perspective is that people should not be on Head Start, but for a limited period of time, and it's a perpetual program where it just enables people not to do better.
Yeah.
Have you
No,
found that?
no, that it enables people not to do better.
Yeah, because they have something to fall back on. It's like, well, let the government pay for my child's early education. I'm just going to sit back and watch TV and send my child to Head Start. I think that's
No,
the perception.
yeah, no, that's not the perception at all. Just like I said, job opportunities. We provide parent workshops for the families. They have different programs in regards to um, servicing mental health. Mental health concerns. We provide resources for families in regards to children with disabilities, and making sure those children get the
Mhm.
services. We have dental services, we have health services. So as far as something for the parents just to fall back and say, oh, let the government just pay for more. No, the parents are very involved and
Mhm.
within the program. And so, no, now if you looked at a child care center, maybe a daycare, you know yes, but Head Start, no.
Is there a curriculum for Head Start that you have to abide
Yes.
by?
Yes. Different Head Start programs utilize different curriculums. Some may utilize the high scope curriculum, and some may utilize a curriculum called creative curriculum. So, the teachers are educated.
Okay.
They just not the
Not a
teachers.
babysitting service.
Yeah, this is not a babysitting services. That's why I say even with my child care, I call it child care, not daycare, because this is not a drop off service. We're teaching children and parents lifelong skills. You In regards to the literacy rate and our some of our parents have a low grade reading literacy level, right?
Mhm.
And so, we provide those services not only to the parents, but then we're teaching the children early literacy skills as well. So it's a needed program, and no, it's not just a fly by night. Staff have master's degree, doctorate's degree. I told you, if you wanted to go back to school, you have to be qualified to get some of those positions. You have to have a degree to be in some of those positions. So no, this is just not a drop off service to where you can go clubbing or whatever, and then come back and get your baby whenever you want it. No.
I got it. I appreciate that. You are the proud mother. I failed to mention of three young men. What do
Yes.
you wish? What do you wish parents knew or can do better to help you facilitate the child care system?
Um, well, just for one, be an advocate
Mm,
for Head Start, not only Head Start, but for childcare. Be involved in your child's learning. Whether that's volunteering in a classroom, whether it's giving your ideals and suggestions in regards to what should take place, uh, activities in the classroom. Also, coming in and providing your services. We have parents who everyone who may be low income in regards to Head Start once have had a job. It may be a temporary situation. Not everybody in the program has always been low income, right?
mhm.
So it may have been a temporary situation that they're in right now, but they're educated. They may be educators, doctors, lawyers, teachers, and different things like that. So they have a service to provide to us as well. So they can help support, but get involved in your child's education. It doesn't matter what role you play, even in the kitchen. Just provide your services, get involved, and volunteer.
I love it. I think one of the things that I wanted to revisit too, and then we'll move on to the PR, is that you said that you take them on field trips. My children were raised at Nataki Taliba, which is a social studies immersion program. And one
Mhm.
thing that helped them tremendously in our village is that they did things like field trips. They had to go
Mhm.
camping. They had to go roll in the mud. They had to run in
Yes.
the rain and do things that would
Mhm.
give them a
Mhm.
balance and give
Yes.
them some sort of social interaction so they
Mhm.
just wouldn't be book smart, but they'll be social smart. And I applaud you for that, taking them on field trips so that they can expound beyond the block.
Exactly. It's more to the world than just the city of Detroit. You know how they say when you become an adult, and we just think Michigan and Detroit is where it's
Three
at.
miles, 7 miles, 6 miles,
Right, but
east side.
get their minds thinking and
Yeah.
expanding. Unless you expose children to that, they won't get that exposure. They won't get that experience. So you have to open up their eyes, open up their minds, and expose them to the things. We don't think that children can grasp certain things, right? But anytime that they can sing a Cardi B song and sing a whole bar at 2 years old, then they can grasp Mozart, right?
Come
You
on.
know,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So expose the children to it, give it to them at 1 and 2 years old. Right now, we say the Pledge of Allegiance every day in class, right? And my 1 and 2 year olds, they know it by heart. Their little voices and everything. One day I'm gonna have to record it and post it or whatever the case is. But they
Yeah.
know it by heart. Children, I mean, the parents be so proud. We have sight words. I give them juicy words, which is called some of the words that they may have is demonstrate, agitate, and they just don't know how what the word is, but they know the meaning behind the word as well. So you have to give them that information, and they will expound upon it, and then they'll soar. That's how they thrive. We have to expose our children. Don't limit them. Don't limit their success and their growth. You're frozen? I think you're frozen.
There we
Okay.
go. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We froze, but we back. But we back. Back
Yeah, you
better
was
than ever.
frozen on my end.
Like, what happened? Anyway, so yeah, I like how you did that too. You put the rhyme in that agitate, demonstrate. I think you said, but that's how we learn. Like you said, we can rap Cardi B
Yes.
because it rhymes, and you have to
Yeah.
utilize those tools to help our children. I love it.
Hmm.
Moving into your PR, you talked about Detroit. Are you a native Detroiter?
Born and raised in Detroit all my life.
East side, west side?
West side.
West side is the best side. Come on now.
They try to flip it and say the east side, but no, the west side. The west side.
East side is the least
Went
side.
to
West side is the
graduate
best
of
side.
Henry Ford High School.
Come on. I was at here before. Come on. I'm not going to say my year.
91, class of 91.
I was a few years ahead of you, but that's okay.
Okay, yeah, you
I
was.
paved the
I
way.
think
Let's
you.
just put it like that. Yeah. There's going to be a little girl named Kelly coming around here. Look out for her. She in elementary school right now, but it's all good. Hey, so you represent a lot of people around the city as a publicist with the Connector,
Mhm.
your personal
Yeah.
management service group. How did that evolve, and what is that like? Tell me a day. What is a day in a publicist? What does a publicist do?
Well, my job as a publicist is to bring awareness to my client. Um,
Mhm.
you know, whether that be TV, radio, magazines, podcast, bookings, anything that's going to bring more awareness to who they are and to get them to that next level. That's my job, to give them more exposure.
So I would come to you when I am at what stage, and I'm like, hey, I think I could be famous, or I've already got some foot traffic. I got some likes, some
Yeah.
followers. When do I come to you?
Well, you wouldn't come to me at the beginning stage. I
Okay.
don't build people. Yeah, I don't build people from the ground up. You already have to have a platform and have made a name for yourself.
Okay.
Once you get to me, then it makes my job easier in regards to getting you on the all those platforms that I just named. Because if you're just starting out, it's going to be harder because no one knows who you are, right?
Mhm.
So you got to do the footwork, you got to do the groundwork yourself, and then once you have become more established and have made a name for yourself, then you can come to me, and then we can take your business or your name to the next level.
Okay, and some of the people that you've worked with in the past, like,
Just to name a few, a legend, well-known film producer in the city of Detroit, Renika McQueen, well-known film producer in the city of Detroit. They both have movies on Amazon and on Tubi, and some of the people who I've worked with, I'm a fan of, like a huge fan. So they have
okay.
movies on all streaming platforms. The great model and talent development agency in the city of Detroit, Taylor Lang. I worked with
Mhm.
her. I worked with the great Dr. Eddie Connor. I worked with him. I worked with Al Bartel with the 100 Men in Suits every year. I worked with the great Dave Bishop uh, with the Detroit Choice Awards, a great platform that he honors and recognizes people within the city who are doing great. I worked with the great Demetrius Carrington over the Beautiful Machine magazine, who throws the best events, networking events, and he also honors people as well. I am going to be honored in June by Beautiful
Okay.
Machine magazine as one of
Or
Detroit's most influential people. One of Detroit's most influential people. I'm
yeah.
excited about that. look, alongside some of the great like Mike Morris, Mario Lou, Jalen Rose, I'm like
Wow.
in the number. I'm so
Yes,
excited. Like I'm a
yes.
part of that, just to name a few. So I've also worked with the Crave Honors. Uh Baraka, she was a great individual who I did some work for. So I work with a lot of great leaders here in the city of Detroit, and so I'm honored. I've also worked with Wayne County Sheriff Ray Washington. You know, that's just a few people who I've had the opportunity to provide some services for, and I'm just so grateful. Brian Tipton, principal of Persian High School. I
And the
forgot to
list
throw his
goes
name.
on.
Yeah. It's just
Right
like
now you can't
I
forget
get
nobody,
excited
huh?
because I love. Yeah, I know. I get excited just because I love intelligence, and I love uh, seeing people who are out here making a difference. And so, I just get excited every time I learn and meet new people.
So, what do you hope your clients say about you?
I hope that my
Uh-oh.
clients say
Why are we
that
freezing?
huh? Oh,
Can you hear me now?
yes, but
I don't know why we're
yeah, I
freezing.
can hear you.
Let's do that again. What do you hope your clients say about you?
I hope my clients say that she delivers. Like their expectations, I meet all their expectations and I deliver on what their expectations are. Um that I'm punctual, that I'm professional, and you know that they just love working with me.
So, what are some traits of
Be reachable, right? Meaning some people, sometimes our schedules do get so busy, especially when you have more than one client. And sometimes follow up, you need to follow up with your clients. They used to call me the follow up queen at New St. Paul Head Start because I always believed in getting back to people. How many times have we been told, oh, I'll get back to you and I'll get back to you, and no one ever gets back to you? Nobody calls you, nobody checks on you or anything like that. And so I believe in following up with people, making sure, even if I don't have a response right then and there, at
Mhm.
least call your client and let them know, hey, I haven't heard anything yet. I'm still waiting and I haven't forgotten about you.
I love it. So you're balancing again your child care, you're balancing your PR, and then you do some modeling as well. Um, you know, you
It's
had
been
abs,
years. It's
you
been
go ahead,
years.
you had abs of steel out there that was rocking the whole city. It was like, nah, you do that. But because I can't do that. But anyway, um, how do you keep the balance and keep your peace of mind?
Oh, that's a good question. Peace. How do I keep the balance and keep my peace of mind? It's not easy. First of all, Christ. I have a relationship with Christ and my prayer life, right? If
Mhm,
I didn't have the relationship with Christ that I have, I would have lost my mind a couple of years ago,
mhm.
especially within this last past 2 years.
Okay.
I lost my mom
Mhm,
uh, back in February, the end of January.
mhm,
Her viewing was the day of my birthday, and
mhm.
her funeral was the day after my birthday this year. I lost my brother about 8 or 9 months ago. In July, it'll be a year. So life has been happening, but if I didn't have that prayer life, um, I don't know. I wouldn't know how I would even be surviving. And then I just have that drive in me because I just feel like no one's going to make things happen for me but
Mhm,
me. And
mhm,
so whether I want to or not, I don't have a regular job to where I can call in and say, hey, I
mhm,
got sick and personal today, so I don't feel like getting up going to work today. So, I can call in sick and still get paid, right?
mhm,
So I'm an entrepreneur, so I have to get up and make it happen. No one else is making it happen for me on a day-to-day basis. So I have to get up and make it happen. First of all, I have 3 people dependent on me to make it happen for them, right? I think about that anytime I get down and get sad or depressed or whatever, I can't, because I got to think about those 3 boys that I got, those 3 mouths that I have to feed. So then, not only that, then I have other people out here. You think that, oh, you're not loved, you're not cared for, or whatever the case is, but you'll be surprised how many people that you actually have in your corner who is not family, right?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
support you, who believe in your dreams, who believe in your work. So those things I have to think on along with scriptures, because the word of God says, I will keep you in perfect peace,
Mhm.
whose mind is stayed on me. And so when I think about my entire life from birth to where I'm at now, I'm about to tear up. God has favored me, and I thank Him for
When do you sleep? You're like a bat. You can sleep hanging upside down or something. You ready to fly away at any time. When do you rest?
I know, but and also I was a campaign manager 4 years ago for my client too, Lavish T. Williams, who was running for police commissioner in District 2. He did not win, but that time is again right now. Election time is happening again right now. And so I'm not his campaign manager. I was working with former city councilman Roy McAllister. I forgot to mention him
Mhm.
as his campaign manager, and he's running for re-election for city council in District 2. So
Okay.
I don't know. I just have to. I feel like I'm the Energizer Bunny. I can't sit still. I can't still.
Cause
Even
you're
when I'm at home and I feel like I need the rest, I'm always doing something around the house. I just can't sit still, So when I pass out, when I lay down and I sit still, I'm always falling asleep because
Mhm.
I'm tired.
I think that's a common trait among people who are entrepreneurs who are thinkers, who are problem solvers, who are innovative. You don't necessarily sleep, but you just learn how to rest in between the moments.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're
Hmm.
always going and you're always thinking, but you find that rest, and that rest is so purposeful and so peaceful to when you
Yes.
wake up, you're energized.
Make yourself beautiful and get in there and get back out there in a fight.
And I think you've done that. And I thank you for joining us on eThought Conversations. It has been absolutely wonderful. Miss Kellie Napper, where can they find you on social media? How can we get in touch with you? Those kinds of things.
So I'm Kellie Napper, but Kellie Sane on all social media platforms just because Sane is my maiden name. Although I'm divorced, I still have Napper, but Kellie Sane on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
That's a whole nother conversation we can do. I'm divorced and I'm doing all this stuff. So that means you had to heal and pick yourself back
Yes,
up.
there is life after divorce. All this happened after divorce. There is
All this
life
happened after divorce. That's a whole nother show. All this happened after
after divorce.
divorce. That's
That
a
might
whole.
be my first book I write.
Come on. See there?
Yes.
Let me do the foreword because it was birthed out right here. All
Yes.
this happened
After
after
divorce.
divorce.
I love that.
I do too. You own to something. Let's go. Let's do it. Again, it
Right.
has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, my friend. I wish you much success in all that you do. And thank you for joining us on eThought Conversations. My eThought for the day is what you survive secretly will strengthen you publicly. That
Mhm.
giant, that giant in your life that was meant to break you actually was a gateway to make you and build you better. That's my
Yeah.
e-thought for today. As always, we see you next time on e-thought Conversations. Thank you, my friend Kellie. You'd be amazing. And we'll see you, y'all. Like, share, comment. That's what we want you to do so we can blow this up. E-thought Conversations. We'll see you next time on e-thought Conversations.